Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Wednesday, the 17th day of January 2024. It is Wednesday of the second week of the year, the second week in Ordinary Time, and today we also honor the memory of St. Anthony of the Desert. No, not Anthony of Padua, St. Anthony of the Desert, who ran to the desert, I think when he was like 18 or something like that, because the cities and towns, this mentality that cities and towns and urban centers were filled with lasciviousness and lust and passions and all those things that would detract one from focusing solely on God. And so you ran away from them to be able to commune with God. All great and well, but you're going off by yourself just to be by yourself, to commune with God. It's rather selfish. But he attracts other people to him, and they, again, the first inklings of monasticism and of groups of men and then women who gather together to be able to be single-mindedly focused upon God, which is good, but single-mindedly focused upon God always for the benefit of others, always for the benefit of bringing God's kingdom into the world, which is a kingdom that is built to, created or that exists to establish relationships and to build relationships and to keep relationships fostering and flourishing. So we honor his memory and what he tried to do and what he attempted to do, and the fact that other people, again, began to move in that kind of direction with him. It is a frosty morning here in Carolina. It is the kind of weather that one would play hockey in this hockey-obsessed area of the United States. So finally, we have weather that is more appropriate to playing that sport than in the 90, usually 80-degree weather that we usually have down here. Our readings for today. There are special readings for Anthony, but again, we'll stick with the readings for today. David kills Goliath. Basically, that's it. But David kills Goliath, again, standing up to something more powerful than yourself, standing up to something that seems overwhelming, standing up to something that is frightening and terrifying. David does not question. David does not, get afraid. He does not waver in being able to do that, and because of that, he is able to defeat Goliath and the Philistine armies, which, again, remember, a couple of chapters or a couple of days ago, were ravaging Israel and taking the Ark of the Covenant and making everybody miserable because, again, Israel deserved it. Now Israel gets a reprieve from God with David. Israel gets a chance to begin again. And David shows that in being able to take 5 smooth stones only, and with those is able to defeat Goliath. Yes, he cuts off his head. Yes, it's all these kinds of things like that. Gets rather gruesome in the end. And again, David is a young boy doing all these kinds of things. But again, he is showing himself a leadership that Saul does not have, and yet Saul is still king. What's going to happen, we'll see in a few minutes. In Mark's gospel, a man comes in with a hand that is withered, a hand that is paralyzed, what have you. And again, this whole idea, it's the Sabbath. Do you heal him or do you not heal him? And Jesus, basically says, why would you stop something good from happening, on the Sabbath? And he asks a man, it's like, do you want your hand healed? And the man says yes. And so Jesus does it, and does it by a simple touch. And the Pharisees and scribes go to the Herodians, another political group around Galilee, and they want to kill him because, again, he dares to flaunt their laws. He dares to not respect their laws. And again, it is laws that they have made and not laws that God has made. And Jesus is proving that by curing this man on the Sabbath. Again, the whole idea about rules and regulations. They are supposed to help us, yes. They are supposed to keep order and stability in our world, yes. They even may teach us in some ways. But where rules and regulations stand in the way of us being the people that we must become, well, then that's when we have to reassess them and see whether or not they are truly doing their job, and whether or not they need to be either discontinued or reformed or changed or transformed in some ways. We are not enslaved to law. Law is meant to serve us, and when it doesn't, as Jesus shows us today in curing this man who had a hand that was not working, we need to move beyond that. We need to move further and deeper into understanding, God's presence and God's will and God's love in our lives. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.